everybody, welcome to the Velocity podcast, and I'm joined by the one and only Mr. Alex Cleland. Alex has got a bit of a background in the fitness industry, and we're going to kind of delve into you as an individual, Alex, talk about your career and your hobbies and your passion and that kind of thing, mate. So first of all, how are you doing today?
Yeah, not good. Not bad, thank you.
So obviously we're in the middle of a bit of a pandemic. We're in April. It's the 21st of April today. So how are you getting on? Obviously you're a qualified personal trainer. So how is your business going at the minute with that?
Yeah, it's okay actually. Obviously, what is it? It's like 4th week now, isn't it? So
yeah.
It was the worst bit, I would genuinely say, was the first few days when like the gyms were shutting and it was like, oh God, what are we going to do? And then trying to make a plan of like, right, how can I like keep going forward with my clients? How can I, and then obviously now it's been a bit of a routine. It's actually, I've kind of almost got used to it. So yeah. I'm doing like Zoom sessions and stuff on a one-to-one basis, and then also doing group ones. So doing classes with all my clients and things, and everyone's like, some people have even like got more results than normal because they're like now doing more and they're like concentrating more, and because they're now prioritizing it more than ever. So yeah, it's actually been pretty good.
That's good, mate. So before we kind of jump into like now in your business now, I just want to kind of take a bit of a step back. So like, when did you qualify as a personal trainer, and what were your drivers behind doing that?
It was like 2.5 years ago now. And it was always because I was always into like the gym and like playing sport as a kid. I was always quite sport heavy. And I was very going down the route of like becoming an accountant. Like it was where my sort of career and my life was headed. And then I just had a bit of a time out. Like I went traveling and I just had a realization of like, doing what I loved, and having a job that I was passionate about. So there was only ever like, all I ever thought about before was the gym and health. And so I was like, right, well, I need to do something in this. And then that's just kind of snowballed to actually just a genuine love for the client and for watching people move better and like create better versions of themselves. And then obviously that's just kept snowballing.
Yeah. So when you qualified and went down the route, obviously the passion was to help people. How did you kind of get into your foot in the door with your business sort of thing? How did you start to run it and that kind of thing?
So where like I first started and things?
Yeah. When you first qualified.
Yeah, so I started in like a health spa. So it was very small gym. There was only 3 more personal trainers. So there's only 4 of us in the team. And it was very much, as I said, like health spa. It was more people going for like the pool and the sauna and like that sort of chilled out vibe. And I worked there for a year, sort of building my confidence and building my knowledge and building experience. And what was really good is the demographic was a lot older. So I had to learn a lot about like knee pain and shoulder pain and hip pain and mobility, and like how important it was to warm up and cool down. And I'd never really myself put that very highly on my training. Like before I was qualified, I was always just kind of, you get in, attack it and leave. And from them working obviously with that type of clientele, it really sort of resonated with me, like, right, I need to focus on it just as much as people do, because I don't want to get to an age where I'm not now moving properly, and it's like the damage is not already done, but like you could obviously prevent it so far in the past. So that like carried on, and then I felt like I kind of got to a point where I couldn't necessarily take it any further. I sort of felt that with kind of like the client base and the member base that was there, it wasn't probably potential to make the steps that I wanted to in my career. So I then moved to where I am now, which is a pure gym in Manchester City Centre, with like, so there was 10 times as many members, and then in now a team of 26 other PTs. So it was like a whole whole different new experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that's where I kind of am today now.
So I suppose the health club scene was more you learning about working with a specific clientele and then moving to the city centre. You can obviously still take what you've learned there, but you're going into a completely different environment. Do you prefer being in that busier gym, that busier environment?
100%. Yeah. It's just everything sort of comes alongside it as well. Because when I found I was in the health place, like doing all the social media and trying to promote yourself so much on that, you were then getting to an audience outside the gym, which is, obviously you want to do that and you want to grow outside of the gym as well. But in the gym, no one really got it. Everyone was like, what is he doing? What's all the cameras for and all this kind of thing. So then where I now am, it's far more, that is the thing, like people, it's just more of the thing that people do. And it's even just being around sort of like-minded people. So like there's one of the lads I've got a fitness retreat business with that we've started. Another guy, like we do joint podcasts and stuff. So there's more people that are kind of suited with your beliefs, your way of looking at life, and that helps obviously then, that helps so much with then like your side of things and your development, because you're then bouncing off other people. So 100% love it where I am now. But the knowledge, it was more the knowledge and the experience that I got from the health spa I'll never take away, because I found that obviously coming into now a big pure gym where I was now in front of, like I would used to do a class in front of say 10 people, I was now doing in front of 50. If I'd never done that initial exposure, I think it would have been like, wow, this is too big of a challenge, and it would have been quite scary. But at least I had that sort of initial experience to go into it.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's important for any personal trainer, anyone in the fitness industry, to gain experience from different areas as much as possible. And obviously, like you said, that year in the health club was invaluable to you, because it was almost like a CPD for you, where you were working with groups of people, and then obviously you moved up to working with 50 people or in a group, for example. So I think that's a key aspect for any PT, really, isn't it? Where maybe don't get too comfortable and try new things. So obviously you mentioned there that you do a fitness retreat. I imagine that's a completely different challenge.
Yeah, that's and really frustratingly, we were supposed to have our second one this week.
No.
Literally right now we should be in Rhodes battering people on a beach.
That is, it's one of them, isn't it? There's nothing you can do.
You can't do anything about it. It's like knock it on the chin and carry on.
So how do they run? What's the deal with the fitness retreats then?
So that's literally, we've got there's a hotel chain called Atlantica Hotels, and they've got hotels in Greece and Cyprus. And we've only done one now, and this was going to be, we were doing 2 back to back now. And it's in an all-inclusive hotel, so it's very, on our side of things, it's easy for the food and all that side of it. And then we just handle all, obviously, the fitness, all the activities. So it ranges. So we have, on each day, you'll do like a workout that's based in the gym. So it's more sort of like strength training. And then we'll do like a sort of fun group workout. So it'll be like on the beach, on the grass, like running around the hotel, like just different things that then on like bringing people in pairs or in groups or singles, and just different things. And then the activities in the day. So like your water sports and just playing like cricket on the beach or just sort of fun stuff. But kind of, it's just a case of bringing obviously everyone together on a holiday, but doing a lot of fitness.
Do you run it over like a week's period to do like a week?
Yeah, so we do 4 nights, so it works out as like 5 days. And then so as I said, we were going to do this week, we were going to have 2 back to back, so then we were going to have like 1 going into next week. Right,
so you guys will be out there for like 10 days essentially.
Yeah.
And what's kind of your uptake on there? Do you cap it at certain numbers, or how do you run it?
So we did cap it at 20 for each one, because there's only me and this other guy, Andrew. So anything more than that, it probably just gets a bit silly.
But that's good. That's good numbers. 20 10 clients each, if you look at it that way.
Exactly.
Over a 4-day period. That's brilliant. And that's quite unique as well, isn't it? Because it's not something I mean, you do hear of and see quite a few fitness retreats over in the UK, but it's very rare that you go abroad with
Yeah,
it.
that you
It's quite a
guys,
unique
yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah.
What
It was
was
something I've always wanted to do as well. And then,
yeah
but then that's a prime example, as I said, of now where I am, or you're working with those kind of people. So when you talk
yeah
to people, you like just bounce off each other.
yeah? And I mean, obviously, did you run your first one last year? Did you say?
Yeah, in October we did. So that
So
was
obviously, all being well, and when things start to go back to some form of, I'll use inverted commas,
whatever that is.
normal. Yeah. Are you hoping to kind of pick that back up and run some through
Yeah, so
summer into later in the
unfortunately,
year?
though, we're just going to have to wait until October again,
Yeah.
just because of like peak times in the hotel. Like if things go back to normal in sort of, and people are going back to hotel in July, there just won't
Yeah.
be room for us to accommodate 40 people.
Right. Yeah, because it's peak times. Yeah.
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 So we've just got to wait till October again now.
That's good though, because it's something. I mean, at the end of the day, it's an activity holiday, but it's still a holiday for you, and a really good way to build relationships with the clients as well, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it was good.
That's brilliant. So we talked a little bit about the beginning about your business now, like the adjustments you've made. You run your own online coaching platform
Yeah.
anyway, don't you? So did you just convert as many as your face-to-face to that platform when obviously Gymshark?
When it Gymshark, yeah, mainly. So like, I've got an online business anyway in terms of like clients and in terms of how I go about things and like my systems that I've got in place. So what was then very easy was it was a case of transitioning those one-to-one people to then that new sort of, well, not new system. The thing is, the way I do my sort of coaching is that, and even it's what I tell people, like my one-to-one gym floor clients literally receive exactly the same service as my online clients. The only difference is that they see me on the gym floor. So all it was a case of, look, right, okay, well, we're taking these sessions away, but you're still receiving all your programming, all your workouts. We just got to now obviously manipulate it around what you have available at home.
And what was the clients? I mean, obviously there's nothing they can do in terms of the gym. Did a lot of them were like, yeah, fine, let's do that and jump into it? And was it an easy transition?
I haven't had anyone that's like, no, I'm going to take a break for a bit. Like everyone, as I said, almost has gone, right, okay, well, let's do this more than ever kind of thing.
Yeah, that's good though, because
that's been quite a good response.
I think because, like you said, a lot of people have obviously got a lot more time on their hands, whether they've been furloughed or they're working from home or whatever. People are at home more, people have more time. So the excuse of, I've not got enough time has probably been pushed to the back burner a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we've said obviously about your business and how you started and things like that. So that obviously progressed into you creating two quite unique things. One of being a podcast and a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
So what was kind of the reasons for starting both of those platforms?
YouTube. So YouTube, actually, I took so long to start, YouTube. Like I kept putting it off for about 10, 11 months. I just kept being like, because I just kept on thinking, right, I'll do it this time, I'll do it then. And I was kind of waiting for that perfect time to start it, which obviously there isn't one. So the main reason I started that was a similar kind of thing with my Instagram. It was just a way of promoting myself in a more sort of personal way. So obviously with Instagram, it's not as, unless with the stories, this is what I kind of say to people, is that I feel like the stories is where people get to know who you are. Whereas your posts are just kind of like you and your knowledge and what you're putting out. Whereas YouTube's kind of like the mix of both of that. Because obviously you talk as you're doing and it's kind of that transition. And then podcast wise, so in terms of the people as well, YouTube was kind of, again, my same audience that I was trying to get to with Instagram, in terms of just sort of like the general average day person who just was trying to just learn some more about fitness and health and seeing how to sort of make the steps that they should, and without having to spend all the time that I did to learn it all. Whereas then my podcast is actually completely different a market. So my podcast is mainly aimed at kind of coaches who are wanting to maybe make the jump into the fitness industry, are already in the fitness industry and trying to say become a better PT, better online coach, or just like overall coach. And then people also trying to like sort of push themselves on social media. So it was sort of, my podcast was, right, let's sort of take away from just going at the average person, and let's now go for people who, because what I found was that on Instagram, I'd get a lot of DMs of people asking about how to get a client, or how to do this, how did you go online, how did you do this on Instagram, how did you. So I thought, you know what better, because now when people ask it, I just go, watch this episode, and it's like, it's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
That was my literally sole reason. And then again, it's kind of, then from putting out podcasts, I've actually just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's so easy as well. Like, I don't know why I didn't do it ages ago.
I think podcasting, even though it's been around quite a while, I think it's new to the fitness industry,
Yeah.
or at least new in terms of hitting a larger market. And I think it's it's something that I ran a webinar last week actually, and it was around online coaching to our like newly qualified learners and people that are nearly qualified. And one of the big things that I emphasize is podcasting, and it's such an easy and inexpensive way to market your business. Like you say, it's almost more of a professional way to do it, because you can just talk about you can talk about your business, your experiences, and deliver that education that's invaluable to some people.
Yeah.
And I like that you touched on there that I've looked at your social media in run up to this podcast, and it's very, very professional. So your Instagram, all your tiles on your Instagram, very professional. It looks the part, which is obviously really important. And then you go into YouTube, same thing, podcast, same thing. So it's very uniform. And I think it's easy for people to navigate, and it's easy for people to engage with you. And that's a huge thing for personal trainers, anyone in the fitness industry, that, you know, your engagement needs to be high. You need to be relatable, and people need to be able to engage and relate to you more than anything.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like it goes to, it's why when you see some people's things and it just looks like a mess, like say, no matter what sort of platform they're putting their content out there, sometimes you're like, just make it look cleaner. Like, have it so it's more accessible.
Yeah, and I think there's such a huge market for personal trainers, and like you touched on, then a lot of people, trainers, potential people who want to qualify, are very much interested in how you do certain things within your business.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you've got your clients, your clients who are wanting to improve the fitness and the health. But you've also probably got more clients that you might not even realize that are wanting coaching from a different perspective, like business coaching.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to be able to help different people with different things, and that's obviously down testament to you as a coach overall, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's interesting, mate. It's an interesting approach, and it's good that you can help so many people, because you've obviously got a good following on Instagram, which obviously you can help more people through that platform.
Yeah, exactly.
So just moving on, mate. We've talked about the pandemic, which is COVID-19, that we're all obviously unfortunately in. A lot of things that I keep reading are, how is the fitness industry going to be affected from it? Before I jump in with my 2 cents, what's your opinion on it?
I think it could be good. I think two of the biggest points is that it's made so many people change their business and adapt, and maybe look at then doing more online, and look at, I need to put more content out on social media. So starting that sort of avenue, it's, as ruthless as it sounds, it's gonna really push out the bad guys, because the guys that don't really care and never really cared and kind of just got through because they could, because they're rubbish PTs, but people will just kept paying them. That might not be a thing as much anymore, because it's going to be so easy to see the quality, and people who cared for sort of the client over this time will be the guys that then survive at the end of it. And then I also feel that there could be a boom of people wanting coaching, because people, again, like coming out of this, is they're going to focus so much more on their health and fitness, and like, right, well, I need to get myself fit, because if something like this happens again, I'll be in a better chance of getting through it. Okay. But on that side, it depends kind of what financial position people are in, because to obviously have coaching, you need to have that money on the side. So I think it won't happen straight away. There won't be like but I can see when, say, or whatever it is, like whatever even normal is, like when that course kind of gets back to that, and then people maybe have that financial security again, maybe then they'll go, right, well, I need to just focus on it and throw my health and fitness first.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is very, very similar to yours in the sense. I mean, I've read bits online, people saying like face-to-face PT is dead. This is going to be the end of it, and I couldn't disagree more, because you're always going to want. I'll have those people who want that one-to-one session. That's never going to go away. And I just think like what you said, face-to-face, online, it's just going to progress coaches' businesses to deliver sessions and services in a different format, and I think that's a good thing. And I agree. I don't think as soon as if gyms reopen tomorrow, I don't think personal trainers we'd all have 20 people going, right, can I have a session. But I think like long term, I think it's going to be a really, really a good thing for PTs, fitness professionals, massage therapists, because people are going to want that aftercare and that support through training and other services. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing. I agree, mate. Yeah. What's your approach in terms of online coaching? Is it something that you did straight from being a PT, or is it something you naturally progressed to doing?
So when I first started doing it, my first plan of attack when I qualified was to just go straight into online coaching. And then very quickly sort of was like, no, I want to actually learn my craft on the gym floor, and I want to go down that route. So I was doing it kind of a bit of both. So I was doing online and doing one-to-one PT. And I did that while I was at the health club the whole time, but it was very, very part-time, and it was my prices weren't right at all. Like I wasn't charging enough. And it probably wasn't making as much money as it could have on the side. So it was never really something that I focused enough on. And when I then started at Pure Gym, I then sort of almost put my online on a bit of a hold, and I just threw everything I could at my PT, because when I started at Pure Gym, I had to start again, because where I was before was in Knutsford. So it's only about 20-30 minutes outside of Manchester, but no one really made that then transition coming into the city centre, which was fair enough. So I just had to start again. So I just wanted to obviously throw everything at it. So I paused my online. I just sort of left it. I just kind of had a couple clients that we just kind of like set them up and let them on their way. And then when I sort of got to a comfortable point again with my one-to-one, I then started putting my online back to it. But then having so this is now probably actually like maybe a year ago again, I've started doing it. No, a bit less than. And it was then a case of, right, well, now I've got way better systems in place. Now I know so much more than I did before. And then actually have like a proper pricing structure and have like all that kind of things. And then it went so much better. Whereas my biggest thing I struggled for before is that online I'd struggled to get the results from people that I was getting on the gym floor. And I was like, why is that not happening? And I kind of put it to two reasons of that. One, just because I wasn't keeping people accountable enough, which is obviously how anyone's going to get forward. And then also, I think trying to take on anyone. So when I first started as a PT, it was a case of just taking on any clients, and I was doing the same online. But I feel like online coaching is for people who can sort of motivate themselves to the gym and maybe do go to the gym, but they just need consistency, and they need something to follow because they're not going anywhere. Going around in circles. But it's not for Jane, who's never stepped foot in the gym before and is terrified. Like that is someone who wants online coaching, because if they can't motivate themselves to go to the gym, they're not going to do it. No matter what you've got in place for them, it will be difficult for them. So it was kind of like that, like learning then what I knew, and then sort of changing my market for online coaching and looking at then people who do have, as I said, that little bit of routine of necessarily going to the gym, but they're just not going anywhere. And from that, the results have been just as good as then my one-to-one. So it was a case of changing my market and having the right systems in place.
That's good. That's a really good point. So do you market your online coaching clients, or to gain online coaching clients, differently to your one-to-one?
A little bit, yeah. Because as I said, because online I'll be asking for sort of individuals who feel that they maybe aren't getting anywhere. Whereas PT, it's like people, just anyone that say wants to lose fat. Because you're the person that when they're booked in for you on that hour session, they've got to come to the gym, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's good accountability, isn't it? Motivation.
Yeah.
Do you kind of specialize in any area, face-to-face PT, or do you market to a specific sector, or how do you kind of?
So a little bit on the mobility side of things. So as I said, from where I was before and learning all that side of things, is that I do take clients a lot on how to improve mobility issues, and then that kind of transpires into just trying to make people like move better. So really, like, no matter what client I sort of look at, I'll analyze their movement and be like, right, how are we going to make sure you move in a better fashion in here in the gym that's going to help you move better on the outside? So certainly mobility side of things. And then the main was obviously just this general sort of fat loss and just taking people on that journey. That's kind of like my biggest people I market myself to is mobility and fat loss.
Yeah, I think a good point there was mobility, and I think that's something that's going to be huge post pandemic, if you like, because people are going to be sat at different desks at home, maybe sat on the sofa on the laptop. And I think people are going to really struggle because they've probably not moved as much as they should have in the recent weeks and months. They might have had bad posture, they might have, and there's all these elements where it could obviously conflict and cause maybe issues. So I think mobility post-pandemic is going to be something that's going to be really big. So hopefully you should have a nice uptake from that. So another thing which you've recently done, so the Gymshark event in Manchester, Lift Manchester, I believe it was called. And did you work there, or how did that go?
Yeah, so I was working. It was all a bit weird. It was just like on Instagram. I can't remember what the company was called. I can't remember. So it was an independent company who were then basically supplying staff for the event. Right. So and I presume it's what Gymshark just do every kind of place they go, is that then they have the Gymshark staff, but then they just need just a load of people there. So that kind of just that. And then I didn't really know what we were going to be doing. It was very much told, you were like, right, you're going to be doing like tills, stock tape with the athletes, like kind of just different things. And then what actually happened was that everyone was kind of just like, no, this is your task and this is what you're going to do. And I think I just got one of the lucky ones. So I was just on the stand the whole time, just sort of I was having to take photos for people who were wanting to meet the guys that were sponsored. And then I like ushering people on, just moving the queue. So I think I don't know if I got lucky or I don't know. But, so I had a really good week.
Good experience.
Oh yeah, it was mental. Like, cause you're then just fully just in the mix of it all. And it's happened quite a lot where people have said, like, messaged me saying, oh, I think I recognize you from the thing. And then that's why they start following it. Or so, like, it was good exposure just even for me. It was pretty cool.
I suppose it was being weird stood around all people you look up to and follow on Instagram and things like that.
It was so humble and so nice, and you're like, wow, this is like, and then it's good because you're like, that's what you need to be like. Like little things like would shake your hand and introduce you, like they'd say their name, and you're like, well, I know who you are, mate. But like, it's those things that,
they're not just expecting you to know who they are and be grateful that you're meeting them and stuff like that. Yeah. Who was the? I don't know if you can give me one. Who was the favourite person you met? You got to meet?
Probably Matt Does Fitness, just because I think it's just hilarious. But then so like Ross Edgley, I've never met someone who is a freak amongst men. Like, it is ridiculous what he's done in life. And
I know
before, in terms of being humble, I've never met someone so down to earth ever. Like, people were there talking to him about, oh my God, you're so inspiring, and when you did this, and he's just like, he just laughs and he's like, yeah, it's yeah. And it plays it off like it was just, it was another day.
Like he swam around the country, and to him, it's like he swam a couple of lengths of the pool.
Yeah,
it's like,
mental. So he was just like, you were like, wow, I've never met someone who's just so nice and down to earth ever.
Yeah, he's the one who I really, really want to get on a podcast. I did one with Jamie Alderton last week. We've had Phil Lerney on, and if I can get Ross Edgley, that'll be three really big boxes ticked. Maybe one day. But yeah, I mean, Brandon, who you've been speaking to, who got in contact with you about doing this podcast, he went to Lift Manchester. I think he either started following you from there, or he met. I can't remember. You have to ask him. But he was at them. Yeah, so it goes to show that just attending an event like that and obviously working there, really good exposure for you.
Yeah.
For just through that platform alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen the Gymshark gym?
No, have you?
Oh, mate, go on YouTube and look at Google. Go and search it on there. It's unbelievable. One of my learners, he got to work there and go and train there for a little bit, and he says it's like, honestly, have a look at that after the podcast. That's your first thing you need to do. So obviously, looking into the future, your business, podcast, YouTube, online business. What's your kind of? I don't want to say what's your 5-year plan and where do you see yourself in 5 years, because everyone hates that question. But just in terms of future, where do you want to be and where do you see yourself with your business?
So at the moment, there's an app created, which is then going to be obviously the big next step, and it's kind of seeing where that goes. And so it's got all the exercise tutorials of me talking things through it, and just basically making everyone's life very easy, and the way it's going to be programmed and recipes and all different, and I can create challenges and just do so much through it. And I see so much progression with that, and so many ideas that I have for the app that, because just of price, we've had to sort of restrict at the moment, and it'll be a case of when it builds, I can then just keep throwing stuff onto it. So mainly that's going to be my biggest priority, and really pushing that forward and seeing where that kind of goes over the next, as you said, 3-4 years. And I have, if someone says to me like, what's the favorite thing of your job? Like, if there's, out of everything you do, it's like, it's still 100% being on the gym floor with a client. Like, that's just seeing them like have a daily win and hitting a PB. Like, there's no better feeling to me than that feeling. Yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily want to lose that. But it's a case of seeing what happens with the app, and if that then grows to a point where I do maybe need to take a step out of the gym and really just go like, right, well, I need to be solely based online. I need to dedicate everything to this. And then just keep that snowballing and grow sort of my YouTube. My YouTube's my big one that it still disappoints me, and I'm not happy with where I am and where I want to be with it. So it's really a case of trying to get that to some good numbers. And just seeing what happens with it all.
I suppose YouTube, I mean, a lot of people do YouTube, but a lot of people do Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
I imagine though, and I can see that YouTube takes up a lot of time, because you've obviously got to film it, edit it, upload it. So it's not simple as if you put a story on, it's instant.
Yeah.
If you do a post on Facebook, it might take you 10 minutes. But if you're doing obviously on YouTube, you're talking maybe half a day's work for a video, or if you're doing a vlog or something like that.
But that's what I mean. That's what I think I find frustrating, is because I look back at how many hours I've put into it, and I'm like, it's nowhere near as much as I wish I'd have had back.
It's a hard market. It's a funny old game as YouTube. I mean, we've got a YouTube channel, and same thing. We had what we thought was really, really valuable content on there, and it is, to be fair. And then last year we came up with some like really daft challenges that we could all do. And I got given the one eating 1,000 calories a day for 10 days. And then exactly. And then I weighed myself at the beginning, did all measurements and stuff, did it for 10 days. And I think I lost like 11 pounds or something like that over the 10 days. I would never recommend it, nor do it again. But we put it on YouTube, and it's got, I think, like nearly 70,000 views.
Oh, wow.
And it's just like, it just came from nowhere. Like, we just posted it as normal, and for whatever reason, it gained traction. I don't know how the analytics work as much as probably what you do or other people do, but it's just ridiculous.
And it just
It's
blew
a
up.
funny old game. Funny
Yeah.
old game is YouTube. But again, if you can get into it, it's a really, really good way to build your business.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think I still haven't, not necessarily given up, but still gone, because I'm like, I can see the light and see what YouTube can do for you and your business, that I'm like, well, just keep at it and you'll get there.
I always say biggest challenge for personal trainers is time. And YouTube is a prime example. If you had another 10 hours in the day, you could smash out a YouTube video 4 times a week, couldn't you?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
So it's just having time and streamlining your time management, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
So just rolling back, you mentioned an app. So you're having that developed. Is it just you doing that, or have you got a team doing it?
It's me and my girlfriend are putting it out. And
right.
going together on that, and then I've got developers putting all of that together, and to be honest, it should have been already ready in my eyes, but there's just it's just
Obstacles.
annoying tasks that
I imagine that it's not the cheapest thing.
No, so that's the frustrating bit as well. I'm like, I want to start seeing some return on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm guessing your other half is a PT as well.
Yeah.
And does she run a business same place as you, Pure Gym?
No, so to be fair, she's very newly qualified. So bit of rubbish time, and she qualified, and then this all happened.
Oh God, yeah, not the best time.
No, but then I said to her, at least it didn't happen where she started somewhere and then went into it, because then
I suppose now's a great time for her to create content.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, obviously you can kind of almost coach her in that sense, can't you? This is what adds and this is what works, and you know.
Yeah.
So that's a really good. I suppose it's a good position because she's hungry and she's enthusiastic and wants to do well, which is never a bad thing.
Yeah, and she's like really good with all the food recipes and that side of things. I'm useless at creating recipes and cooking, and I've just got no passion for it.
That's something that's really good though, because if you're like a bit of a team, then she can cover one aspect that she's got strengths in, and you can cover another one. So you bounce off each other really well. So have you got I know you've obviously just said you should have seen something by now. Have you got an idea when it's going to be released and you're going to be offering it?
If it was up to me yesterday,
right, okay.
Literally, it should be as soon as possible. Really, like I've been wanting so much to push it out now for my clients for the home content that's on it. So I'm still hoping to get it to people before sort of lockdown finishes. And we'll just have to see. But as I said, it like as literally. If the developer phoned me now and said, like, he might say it's done, it's ready, and I'll go, fine, let's go now, kind of thing.
Just release it, yeah. I suppose it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's something that you can release and it's something that's exciting, but it's frustrating because you want it now.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, isn't it? But obviously that's going to add huge value to your business, to your clients, and it's going to make your life easier, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's a lot, like I think it will also help me get into another market of people who not necessarily can't afford a coach, because there'll be a very basic package where you basically just got access to like a library. So you got a library of exercise tutorials, library of workouts, library of recipes. So it'll mean I'm still able to indirectly coach a lot of people who could necessarily not afford to have like me as an actual like customized like online coach or PT kind of thing. So it will really help for that side of things, and then help because of that, because it will be a case of the basic subscription will be the work's already done. So it'll be a case of then that sort of passive side of things. Yeah.
So you're catering for more people, different budgets, different preferences and stuff. Yeah. So hopefully it's going to be released in the next, I don't know, let's say 2 weeks. Let's say 2 weeks. 1st of May, it's going to be released. It's probably 1st of May. But have you got any like personal plans for the future? Obviously, I know that you're very, very business minded at the moment. Have you ever thought about competing in any sense, or that doesn't obviously have to be bodybuilding? It could be an endurance event. It could be anything.
So I really do want to do a CrossFit event.
Right.
So when I first started training, like going back before as a PT, I was very into bodybuilding, and it was that kind of training, and that's all I really focused on. And then just slowly, as sort of my training's evolved and being in the industry longer, I've really focused more on performance, and that's really now where I get most of my enjoyment from training is really just training for fitness, for strength, to literally just be able to do whatever I like. So I really would like to push towards a CrossFit competition, be that doing like a partner WODs or like single stuff, and just kind of just see what happens with that. And annoyingly, the Manchester half marathon was supposed to be like in a month, but obviously that's all got cancelled and stuff. So I was due to do the half marathon then, which would be my first one.
What I think a lot of people are frustrated because a lot of things like that have been put on hold, whether it's marathons or events, or I know like obviously quite a few bodybuilders and they're all like they've had like competitions cancelled and stuff like that, like midway through prep. So I can imagine that being quite frustrating. But again, light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully we won't be like this for too much longer.
I hope so.
Well, lovely to speak to you, mate. Thank you very much for your time. We will link all your social medias, your YouTube, etc., on our video. We'll post this on YouTube and Facebook, etc. We'll tag you in everything we can. But yeah, thank you very much for your time, and I hope all goes well with your app and things go well with your business in future.
Thank you very much for having me. That was
awesome. Cheers, Alex. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.